Awesome date. Sometime in the future. Awesome topic? Otakon 2011. This is the OSMcast. Hi folks, and welcome back to the OSMcast, your podcast for everything awesome. I'm Basil.
I'm Kevin.
And joining with us tonight,
Alan Mendez from the Reverse Thieves and the Speakeasy Podcast on Anime 3000 and Saber Fan #1.
It's true. We are here at 2:16 a.m. Saturday night to cover Saturday on Otakon. If you'd like to hear our thoughts on Friday, you can actually check out the Reverse Thieves, because they posted all about Friday night. And we talked on it too.
And we had a few other guests, so it's just a big old jamboree of fun.
This is a much leaner, meaner, but no less jamboreer podcast where we're going to cover the events of Saturday because it was incredibly busy.
It was.
I know my start of the day was I got up, got ready, and decided to hit up the Unusual Mangas Genre panel. Done by Aaron and Noah of the Ninja Consultants. And then I discovered about halfway through waiting in line, I was at the wrong panel room.
Oops.
Then realized I only had 30 minutes to get in line for, what was it? Oh yes, Makoto Shinkai's latest film.
Because I got up a little bit later than you, got together a little bit later, and I found you in line for that. Or, well, milling up with the press people, trying to figure out if we had a press seating or not.
It's true. So, what did you start off with?
I foolishly let other people go into the bathroom first.
Ooh, that's always...
And, we're doing the con tradition of trying to, fit like 12 people in two rooms. So that means that, well, everybody left on time. I left about 10 minutes late, and then I just decided to tweet in the lobby. So I missed about the first half of the gals panel, but there was these group of girls who were essentially American gals telling people in the audience about the Japanese gal culture and kind of how American fans have incorporated that and kind of living the gal lifestyle in America.
So for those who don't know, please explain to them what gal culture is.
Gals are this kind of very trendy street fashion in Japan, and usually when people hear about it, they usually liken it the best to Valley Girl culture, because it's usually very materialistic and party-based, and they kind of have a shallow image in the Japanese media. If the easiest way is if anybody saw the old CMX manga, Gals, or the ADV adaptation of the manga, Super Gals.
Yes, actually, ADV got the first season, and Right Stuff actually got the second season. I am not saying that I own both seasons.
I am saying that
I may own both seasons.
I've heard that series is actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's
possibly the kindest representation of the gal culture.
It's kind of like Gals, but it's sort of sketch dance or whatever that thing is called was good. Like, it's pretty much gals like solving crimes and helping the neighborhood, and while still being fashionable and teenage girls.
And of course, the main character comes from a line of cops.
Yeah.
But she wants to live her life as a gal and not be a cop. But she then constantly helps people being bullied or people being shaken down by mobsters and the such. So she basically lives the life of a cop. just she
Very
keeps.
glamorous cop with no actual official duty.
I think you could have stuck with like suspense,
Yeah.
Along with Monster and maybe also Death Note.
I think it would go in unusual.
Yeah. But yeah, my first actual event, and as well as Kevin's, was we actually went and saw the premiere of Makoto Shinkai's Children Who Chase Lost Voices from Deep Below. Admittedly, the anime is about as long as the title.
It was decently long. Like, this was a long movie.
I'm pretty safe to say it was 2 hours. We're actually going to do an actual review of this movie.
I think
With
118 minutes, I think, from our...
yes, 118 minutes. It's okay, just shy of 2 hours.
Yeah, but decent length. Good, solid movie.
The current plan is we're actually doing an actual review of the show with Gerald from Anime World Order. So we'll see how that goes. But in short, I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, it was very Miyazaki-like in the best ways, although maybe a little bloodier than Miyazaki would have gotten, but not a lot.
It depends on the Miyazaki film. I mean, Princess Mononoke got pretty bloody.
Yes.
And I would say about that level of blood and gore was present. It was definitely... He definitely was trying to communicate a message. And that speaks a lot for, I think, a director and a movie, especially in anime nowadays, where it's really trying to say something, even if they're not quite sure what they're trying to say till the very end. It is about a girl who has this crazy little radio where she's hearing things that perhaps people are not supposed to, and that sort of gets her into trouble, and eventually she goes into the world deep below. And stuff happens, and it's kind of crazy, but really in the end it's about dealing with loss, or at least that's what I came away with it.
Yes.
I didn't watch the movie, but everybody I seem to talk to went into it seemed to give it the same review, which was, wow, that was really good, I guess. It almost seemed like they wanted to give it, I don't know, like a real scale of 1 to 10. They would give it a solid 8. And everybody, had it not been Shinkai, would have been like, wow, I really enjoyed that. But since it was Shinkai, they all expected 10. And when they got 8, they realized that they liked it, but there was just that, why wasn't it a 10?
I think this is one of the first times he actually tried to sort of break off. I mean, it wasn't, two people like lost through, time or something like that, where, it's very lots of melodrama and, lots of heartfelt talking while panning over, it's
fantasy, action, adventure mixed in.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually much more active. Like, one of the key things he even mentioned was he starts the main character off and ending with running. Because she's constantly chasing after something, whether she knows it or not. And so, this is a way more active movie than I've seen out of him before. At least in my opinion.
And there's an adorable cat in the film.
And so...
I don't know, I like the cat. The cat was awesome.
So, I liked it a great deal. Now, like I said, there's been some past, family trauma or issues that has happened to me recently that sort of made me appreciate this movie more, at least with the timing. Like, I think this was the perfect movie for me to watch at this moment in time when I saw it. And so for me, I definitely want to give it a very solid 8. Although at the time of me watching at the premiere, it felt like a 10. It only after I started really thinking about it afterwards would I say it's more of an 8.
I think that from all the reviews I heard, if Shinkai learns from what he did wrong, his next movie could easily be a 9 or a 10.
Oh yeah. Like, this man has got great things in store for him. Like, I can't wait to see what he does next. Because it's very rare for anime today to have, directors with such vision and such... They know what they want. It's just a matter of learning how to get it.
Yeah, he's actually trying to tell a story. He's trying to do it in an artistic fashion.
And I'm totally supportive of that efforts. And I enjoyed it. Like, I absolutely enjoyed it. And God, is the movie gorgeous.
It is.
Just every scene. Like, I think part of the reason why everyone thought it was so so Miyazaki-esque was
The landscapes, yeah.
with landscapes were very Ghibli, but the movie's pretty. Like I haven't seen a movie so just pretty since I last saw a Ghibli film.
And as I understand, he knows how to do action scenes.
Yeah.
So it's not like he can only do drama. He knows how to script an action scene that's well done and can be exciting.
There's some very solid, good action scenes in the film. By no means the heart of the film or even the majority of the film, but they were in there and they were good.
And we're going to stop talking about this because you guys want to...
Yeah, we did other things.
You want to talk about...
But see, we really liked this. We had the American premiere of this film, and we really liked it a lot. We'll probably talk about it more at a later date.
And, I wanted to stay for more of the Q&A, but the fact is, I really had to use the restroom. Which is notable because I'm pretty positive I passed Ishiguro on his way out of the restroom when I walked in.
Yeah, even Ishiguro could not sway us from having to pee.
So that was, pretty important. So what have you done in between this and what the next topic I'm about to talk about?
I went to the Madhouse panel. Well, actually, it wasn't the Madhouse panel. It was the Masao Murayama panel because while he's still working with the Madhouse, he has recently broken off and made his own production company separate from Madhouse.
Which is for the saddest reason ever.
And apparently the bad news that I learned was that The Dream Machine, the last movie of Satoshi Kon that he only was partially finished with before he passed away, is on indefinite hiatus because they just can't get funding for it. And since he, Murayama vowed on his deathbed to finish Khan's movie, he basically made his own production company so he could go and raise the money to make sure that he fulfilled that promise.
Well, this is very important. Also very sad because you remember our previous podcast, we were pretty hopeful for this. And then the very next day, our souls were crushed. But there is hope.
It'll be made one day. It'll be made.
And he also planted seeds of still more awesomeness to come.
And and he did mention, I won't go through the whole thing, but he did hint that we might see Akagi Season 2.
Which the world needs more, please tell me I got this right, gambling anime.
Yes, it's Mahjong.
Oh, yes. Oh, Mahjong. I haven't had a chance to see season 1 yet.
This is like hardcore Mahjong to the death Mahjong.
It is the one where in the last chapter that they were animating, he didn't bet money, he was betting blood. And whoever won, basically, every time you won, you would get blood pumped back into you, and every time you lost, you would get blood pumped out of you. But Akagi is such a badass that every time he lost, he'd throw his cigarette butts in his blood so they couldn't put it back in. He either won or he died. So I think everybody and their mom wants to see more Akagi anime, and he hinted that there's a strong possibility that there will be more. So everybody in the audience, you could feel like this palpable yes!
So you could say that you could bet on it.
Yes!
Like you bet your blood.
You bet your life on it.
So was there any other interesting tidbits that you got?
Oh, last year he had mentioned that they were working with China and Urasawa, who did Monster and 20th Century Boys. I'm sure he's been mentioned on the podcast before.
Oh, yeah.
He did this movie with them called Tibetan Dog. And it seemed like, really interesting. All the still shots were great. Apparently it's come out in China, and he did not know when it was coming out in Japan, let alone the United States. So it's this movie that kind of fell off everybody's radar, and then just popped up in Chinese theaters, and nobody's heard of it yet.
That's weird.
Well, then, there you go. I mean, I will always take more Urasawa. And more Madhouse, because Madhouse, except for the Marvel stuff, usually is pretty on the mark and making awesome stuff. Did anyone actually possibly ask about the Marvel stuff and why it's not really as up to snuff as other Madhouse properties?
I asked him which ones, how I asked him which ones were popular and which ones were most popular in Japan, and did they try to make it to a Japanese taste or to an international taste. And he's usually pretty honest and open. This was about the only thing he was kind of guarded on, so I wonder if he was kind of holding back because it wasn't entirely his property.
Right, because it's also Marvel, so you can't just say what you want to say, because if you say the wrong things, then you get in trouble with, a much bigger... Well, I guess you get in trouble with Disney now.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty big.
You do not want to fuck with the mouse.
Because he basically said, well, since I worked on them, I worked partially on all of them are my favorite, and all of them are my least favorite.
Ooh. That's never good to hear. So,
but he said the biggest problem with, the taste and adapting it is that humor is very different, and so a lot of times what makes Japanese audience laugh and what makes an American audience laugh is very different, and a lot of times they have to split the difference.
No, I could see that.
Yeah.
I could totally see that, because Japan's humor tends to be so pun heavy, whereas American humor is not nearly as good in comparison, because it needs more puns.
I think, I'm probably just too used to Japanese humor at this point that I think it's normal, and it really isn't.
Now, my next panel that I went to was a detective anime. So before we get into Alan's panel, and Kate's, cannot forget Kate, was there anything else that either of y'all did?
Oh, I went to the Ishiguro panel, and that was really cool, because he spent the first half of the panel just telling stories.
Oh, nice.
His first stories were apparently when all the, old school guard today were young pups, learning under Tezuka.
Oh, man.
When they all got in, all their inspiration was Sleeping Beauty and Walt Disney. So they studied Walt Disney because, if Tezuka was the god of manga, then Walt Disney was the god who made God. So they all had to study from, the source. And he told all these stories about Walt Disney and Sleeping Beauty because, all of them, knew that by heart.
Pretty much my favorite animated Disney film, just to be honest.
It's up there, and man, if anyone listened to our 80 Boy podcast, last year, Ishiguro is one of the highlights of our con. The man knows his stuff, and he's very cognizant about it, and so you still get to hear all these great things out of him.
So you think, all right, he's going classy, he's talking about the roots, and he's talking about, how they all admire Tezuka, and they all admire Disney, so what does he go into next? Hey kids, let's learn about Cream Lemon.
Oh, yes.
Excellent.
So he basically just went through the history of how Cream Lemon was made.
Now let's segue into porn.
Which, for anyone who doesn't know, Cream Lemon was one of the first successful hentai OAVs and basically popularized hentai
Basically
OAVs.
an anthology series, usually unrelated stories, and pretty tame by today's standards. But it was porn.
But it was also very Yuri schoolgirl centric.
Yeah.
And it started a lot of the, hardcore lolicon movement.
Yeah, and a lot of the people who worked on it are big names. You've got voice. That's before they realized there was no real division between staff and voice actors who worked on the porn anime and who worked on every other anime at this time, really. So you would get Norio Wakamoto in there doing voices of a futuristic bandit who just happens to be having sex with women. I think Hideki Anno directed something. You had Toshihiro Hirano doing character designs.
And and my favorite part is since most of them were nerds, most of them were virgins. So to accurately, animate this the most proper way, they had to throw themselves all on the grenade and watch lots of porn.
I'm sure that was terrible for them. Just absolutely terrible.
they found a way to troop her on, for art.
I have to say the Cream Lemon series had a lot more class than most hentai you're going to watch now. Maybe not, that's not saying a lot, but, I have a lot of respect for that series.
Well, it also indirectly gave us Project A-ko, so I really cannot complain about it too much ever.
Yeah.
If at all.
Oh, and just so Daryl Surratt will listen to this, he also mentioned the niche.
Oh, snap.
And apparently, the original Yamato, like the original plan, was supposed to be that like science saved the day. And it was all about, hard sci-fi, winning the day. And then the niche was like, you know what, kids? That ain't good enough. All the people, they want the triumph of love and courage. So we gotta have love and courage win the day. And so the niche just loved that entirely. And he said every one of his works after that relied on love and courage saving the day. And the most ironic part, the niche had like none of that in his heart. He was like the exact antithesis of that. He always found that the most ironic thing.
Man. Any other choice tidbits?
I found out why Golden Wings was made.
The Legend of Galactic Heroes, OAV that no one likes to admit to.
Apparently it was made to cater to the manga reading audience. And essentially they made this work and they're like, you know what, we're not reaching out to the manga fans enough, so we're going to give them whole new character designs, more in line with the manga, and say that the manga fans are going to like, and nobody liked it. And so they abandoned it, never to speak of it again.
Perhaps for the best. It's a very iconic anime series, although it's not made it to the U.S. officially. Probably never will. But very iconic series for Japan.
But yeah, he's one of those guys, once again, that you might not realize that you like, but if you ever see him at a panel or a con again, go and see him because he's just a storyteller.
It's one of those things where it's a sad truth that most anime con goers honestly go for like the voice actors and the bands. And it's a real shame that whenever a con like Otakon, AX, AWA, what have you, when they get the actual Japanese creators that actually make the stuff that you really like to watch.
Noboru Ishiguro's, your Shinji Aramaki's,
it's many times they're some of the least occupied panels. And that's a shame. And if that's what you do and you don't go to these things, I implore you to go there because you just hear some of the greatest things and you get to hear from the guys who actually created this stuff.
They're the one, they know how this works. They've been in it a while. They know all the stories. It's, they remember how it used to be done. They know how it's done now. And the contrast is fascinating.
You don't need to hear someone say pasta. You've got the DVDs. You can stream it. Just watch it again and go see the creators. Anywho, now that I'm off my soapbox.
Yeah, I just went to the dealer's room during this point, so that no real story beyond. I was in the dealer's room. There was stuff in there. It's huge. We talked about that on Friday. But
But speaking of stories, detective stories, I went to this no-name panel.
It wasn't very good. I heard the person who was running it was drunk.
And so I watched Alan drunk off his ass shooting blow and hookers. But the hookers who was shooting with guns, he was like, I don't need this. Bam. Right in the forehead. Wait, that's a later panel. So anyways, Alan and Kate did their whole Reverse Thieves thing and talked about detective anime for an hour. And it was pretty neat to listen to as more or less a detective primer.
I kind of wish that we almost had more time because I really like to go into Knox rules and because I think that Knox was this old mystery writer who wrote up rules for how to write a proper or at least fair detective novel, and I think if you know those rules, it helps you determine what's a well-written detective novel, what's not a well-written detective novel. And once again, those rules are sometimes made to be broken, and even the best, like Agatha Christie and Sir Arthur Conan Doyle break the rules. I mean, they're not set in stone, but they're a good framework.
I would actually really like a panel like that, especially if you do one that actually shows an anime that does it correctly, an anime does a rule incorrectly, and then an anime that breaks the rule in a good fashion. Like, I think that would, like, to actually sort of delve a little bit into the more nitty gritty of what makes a detective story work would be really awesome to pay, to go to.
Like, one of the ones that we did bring up that I find really interesting is Higurashi bends all the rules to the point, but never breaks them. It always, since it's a supernatural anime, there's so many ways that they can break the rules, but they go right up to the point, but never break them. Because the author of all the original visual novels, like, reads a ton of detective anime books, so he just knows how to structure things to just go right to the edge.
Yeah, that was one of the things I saw the panel that made me really think, because I never thought of Higurashi as a detective type thing. Like, I know as a sort of a suspenseful, paranormal mystery, but I never really thought about it as a fact that, in a sense, well, in the characters, but even you yourself are sort of, the detective as they constantly slowly peel away the layers of what's actually going on in the series.
Well, it's interesting. If you play the original sound novels, if you go to, like, the bonus gag sections, all the characters discuss the mysteries going on, and if you pay attention, you'll notice they're giving you hints of where to look in the story you've just read and what are the important parts of the story to determine the actual mystery.
That's a series I've meant to crack open, more even the games, as opposed to the anime even, but I just have not found the time yet.
And one other clue is you will notice that Mion is never the main character for a reason, because she is a suspect, and the killer can never be the detective. So if Mion was the detective and the killer, you could if she was detective, she couldn't be the killer, so they never make her the detective, so she can always be a suspect till the end. And it's like stuff like that really shows where it is. But yeah, we're kind of thinking of one day doing an advanced course of it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like, selling certain cons, the primer, beginning one, and then selling other cons, or times where we've run the primer one, the advanced one.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, you maybe do like a Nox Rocks, then, colon, something, detective anime. But, that I think that'd be really cool and really interesting. And I think you could even possibly, even phrase it, even though it's a more advanced course, I'm sure that you probably, write it out such that it's even someone who's somewhat new to it can probably still hop in on it.
Yeah.
All right. With that, we're going to take a small break, and we'll come back with even more from Otakon 2011, Saturday. So you guys are here at Otakon. How does it feel?
Feels pretty good.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's gotten bigger over the years, though. It's really crowded, and it's tough to get in the panels and stuff.
All right, so can I get some names, please?
Sam.
And I'm Steve.
So how many years have you been going to Otakon?
This is actually my second year. I went for the first time in 2008, but yeah, this is my second time.
This is actually my first time.
First time? How you liking it?
It's pretty good. I got really exhausted the first day, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to do a second day. And then I woke up this morning, and I'm like, all right, let's go a second day.
All right, so is this your first con period, or is this your first Otakon?
No, it's my first Otakon, but it's my first out-of-state con, I guess.
First, I was like, what cons do you normally go to?
I usually go to, Wizard World in Pennsylvania.
Okay. So is it Otakon your one staple? Do you go to other cons too, or what do you do?
Actually, Otakon is the only con that I typically go to. I'm usually pretty busy, but I usually make time for Otakon because it's my favorite.
All right, so what do you like about Otakon?
I guess there's just a lot more stuff here than in any other convention that I've gone to. Yeah.
And I like the variety of different animes. They have both new stuff for the newer generation to enjoy, as well as some of the old for the older generation to enjoy. Since I'm 26 years old, so I know a lot of the older stuff, and I'm trying to keep up with the new stuff, but I'm pretty busy, as I said, so it's hard to keep up with the newer.
So what's been your favorite event so far going to?
I don't know. Maybe I think the Moe What panel was so far my favorite.
Why?
I don't know. There's some interesting discussion going on.
Well, what kind of discussion was there? Like, I'm curious.
Well, we had a bunch of guys discuss it, and then we had like this woman who was like a feminist started discussing it, and she seemed kind of angry. It was weird. And then another woman started talking, and they kind of got into an argument. It was odd, but it was kind of interesting to hear different people and stuff.
So what's been your favorite event so far?
Well, maybe not exactly an event, but I do like the dealer's room the most. It's really large, and there's a wide variety of items that I could typically get over the internet, but I like to actually see what I'm buying, and it's hard to find that sort of merchandise locally.
Did you get any good swag?
Yeah, I got a couple things. I'm a figure collector, so I like to buy the figures, so that's been mostly what I've been getting.
What's been your favorite figure that you've bought at the convention so far?
Actually, I got this little, it was a random box, you get they give you like a list of guys that you could get, and I actually got a Mega Man box, and I got Cutman, so that was pretty cool. I like Cutman.
Awesome. Well, I hope y'all continue to have an awesome convention.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So, how are y'all enjoying Otakon so far?
It's fantastic.
Having a great time.
It's awesome.
It's always a pleasure.
So, can I get some names?
I'm Brian.
Eric?
Lauren.
Chris J.
All right, so what's been your favorite thing so far at the con?
The rave.
I really like going to the video game room and meeting people.
All right, this sounds actually interesting. No, I kid. What'd you like about the rave?
I don't know. It's just crazy. Everybody lets themselves go. It's a different vibe than what you see right now. Walking around, everybody's acting normal. It's a lot crazier.
So what was the kind of music ratio? Was it all just pure oons, or were there actual anime songs incorporated? What do they do?
Good mix. You hear a lot of 8-bit sounds, like Mega Man sounds here and there, depending on the artist playing. I don't know. A lot of drum and bass, really.
Any bands or any songs particularly stand out to you?
I didn't catch any names or anything, so not really.
All right, so what'd you like about the video game room so far this year?
They had a good selection. They had the King of the Fighters demo there. It was interesting to see. And I had a good group of people there this year.
Excellent. So what have you enjoyed so far about the con?
I'm a big video game buff, so I spent a lot of time in there trying to get my game up and try to get in the tournaments when I can. And I also like to watch all the people around in their costumes. I think they're very awesome.
So how have you done so far at the video game tournamenting?
Well, I was a couple men short for the tournament for Smash Brothers, but I like to watch them. But I got into the Tekken tournament and I did my best. But there's a lot of good players out there, so.
Well, it's true. It's one of the largest anime cons around, so.
Absolutely.
So what's been your favorite thing so far at the con?
All the full body costumes, like the furry ones and the Full Metal Alchemist and the Pokemon. They are just really, really, really fun.
Anything you're looking forward to later on in the convention?
Later on, I need to go to the rave tonight because I didn't go yesterday.
Oh, there you go. So, guys, anything that you're looking forward to coming up later on today?
The second rave.
We're going to be seeing the Full Metal Alchemist movie.
All right, you getting in line early? You're just going to take your chances or what?
Probably going to have to get in line early.
Yeah.
I hope you all continue on to have a wonderful convention.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks.
So I'm here with one of the staff members. Can I get your name?
My name is James.
James, so what do you do here?
I work in Spec Ops.
We're at Spec Ops. What does Spec Ops entail?
Well, trying to solve problems.
What's the problem here?
Well, not really a problem so much as we've got a line that's filling up and we only have so much room left before we have to start snaking people. So we're here to help lines so that they don't fall over on themselves.
So you're saying you're you're sort of the gatekeeper to this wonderful panel here, and you determine who may enter and who may leave.
Spec Ops is for problem prevention and maintenance.
Good way to do it.
So how has the convention been for y'all so far?
It's actually been a little bit more sane than previous years.
a little bit more sane, but not that much saner.
Well, right now we've got a Trigun showing upstairs, so that was a little crazy.
So what you're saying is you wussed out and took the easy job.
No.
I mean, these are just some panelists, right? They're not the important. They're not like Trigun.
Well, it's not the panelists you have to worry about, it's the guests.
Oh, man, which guests are you talking about?
Well, luckily I don't remember their names.
Yes, I see. But how have you been enjoying the con, working it, going to it, and whatnot?
It's all right.
It's all right. It's not amazing. Come on, let's get some energy.
Well, I don't have my phone charger. My phone doesn't have a phone, and the rave sucked.
The rave sucked? Really? This is the first time I've heard of it. What about it sucked?
It wasn't a rave. Most of it was mediocre and sometimes shitty and sometimes just overplayed J-pop.
I see. So did you go to the rave?
No, I don't really like the idea of a whole bunch of people jumping around on a floor.
Oh, okay. So what did you do last night then?
Spec Ops?
Let's say, did a little bit of specking, a side of opping,
Yeah. Spec here, op there, whatever.
Are there any events you're looking forward to going to at the con, or are you just be specking and opping all day, all night?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Trigun premiere, which I think they're having another one at some time, maybe. I don't know. They're still debating on whether or not we're going to be able to do that because there were a lot of con goers who wanted to go to that. And then there's a Full Metal Alchemist thing that's going to be going on at, I think, 5:30 tonight.
It's going to be crazy, but thank you very much for talking to us.
Well, thank you very much for coming on.
So anyways, what is your name?
Kate.
Hi, Kate. Did you know that one of the people running this panel is named Kate?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, it's true. But this is actually the OSMcast, the podcast for everything awesome, here to cover Otakon 2011. So how has the convention been for you?
It's been really fun. I've enjoyed it. I've seen a lot of costumes that have been really excellent, well done, and a lot of the panels and stuff have been great this year.
So what have been some of the panels you've really enjoyed so far?
I went to the Peter Spiegel question answer, and the Hitalia UN Mock UN. That was hilarious. It was really good.
So what detective things are you hoping they'll be talking about in this panel?
I'm not sure. I've always really liked detective anime, but it's not one of the genres that you can find really easily, or at least find a good one of. So I'm hoping to get some more information and some suggestions.
All right, so out of the detective shows you've watched so far, which has been your favorite?
Spiral.
Spiral, really? Why?
I always liked the logic that's used in it. It uses some of the leaps that they make are a little bit of a stretch, but in the end it basically comes down to not so much looking at facts or figures, but more if this is possible, then this is possible, then this is possible.
Right. So what else are you looking forward to later on in the evening?
I'm looking forward to Masquerade.
Oh, really? Are you going to compete?
I'm not, but I always like watching it.
Okay, well, I hope you have a wonderful continuing convention.
Thank you.
So, how was the convention?
It was amazing, especially since it was my first time.
It was your first time, so what's your name?
My name is Philip.
If you guys want to walk in and talk on the microphone too, just come on in. What's your name?
My name is Charles. This was actually my first time also.
Really? So, this is Sunday, so what about the convention did you like?
What other convention do I like?
Well, what about this convention did you like?
Oh, to be able to cosplay and dress up as someone I like.
Honestly, everybody was friendly. We all took pictures with everybody. Everybody just had a great attitude about it. Everybody, everything.
Let's just put it this way. Otakon is like a whole nother universe. This is an alternate universe where we can show our nerdy side and don't really care what people think. Can't do that in the real world.
It's true. Now, did you go to any specific events while you were here, or did you just wander around, or what did you actually do?
Well, I did wander around. People asked me for my pictures. I went to a couple of the 18-plus videos and hentais and all that stuff. But, I mainly walked around.
I mainly went both to the dealer room and the gaming center. I also took part in one of the tournaments at the gaming center, and also went to a little convention of the My Little Pony fans.
Okay, so now My Little Pony is an anime, right?
Actually, no. It is an American cartoon, but it has such quality that it is basically it can be considered anime due to the quality of it.
I see, and though it wasn't really made in Japan.
I don't think it was. No.
Okay. So, what about the gaming room? Did you like?
There were just tons of different TV setup. There were tons of different games of different varieties, from puzzle games to action games to fighting games, all sorts of fun things.
What was your favorite game that you played while you were here?
To be honest, I think my favorite was definitely Guilty Gear Accent Core Plus, mainly because I've been a long-running fan of Guilty Gear and BlazBlue, much less 2D fighting games in general, but that one was basically my first, and I always had fun with that.
Did you get a chance to try KOF 13?
No, but I was very tempted to. Unfortunately, by the time I thought about doing it, it was already gone.
That sucks. Well, any plans for Sunday, or are you just getting ready to get going?
Well, I might just go back there, check out the dealer room again. But other than that, not really. That's about it.
All right, well, I'm glad you had a great convention. If you go to another one, I hope that one's great as well.
Oh, well, thank you very much, sir.
All right, we're here at the Otakon Artist Alley, where the coolest thing ever showed up out of nowhere, at least for me, and you are...
Joe Peacock.
And what this is, you can't see, I took some pictures I'll put up on the website, but it's the Art of Akira exhibit, where he's got tons of the actual cell work, the pencil sketches, all sorts of things. What prompted you to start doing this?
Well, about 3 years ago, I've been collecting for 20 years, and about 3 years ago I bought a collection from someone, and it had an entire scene, all in portfolios, collected up really nicely, and the background for that scene was way back in the back under a different portfolio. It didn't seem like it was connected. When I put everything together and put it in my archives, I had all the scene collected, I put it away, and I put that one background in the miscellaneous file. And about a year later, I'm watching Akira, and I just happened to look up and see, and I saw the background way back in the distance, and it was in between two buildings that had about an inch between them, and as it panned, the background scrolled in the background, and when I finally clicked like what I was looking at, it blew my mind. It was an utterly unbelievable Neo-Tokyo cityscape that you only see maybe about an inch and a half of in the entire film. But when you look at the background itself, it's one of the most beautiful paintings you've ever seen. And I literally cried. Like, I just sat there and cried. I was like, I missed this. How did I not see this? And then it dawned on me, no one will ever know how beautiful that piece is unless I take it on the road and show them. So I told my wife, and she said, okay, well, just don't spend too much money. And started the exhibit, put it together, and made contact with Toonseum up in Pittsburgh. Joe Woes is a very good friend, a very awesome guy, and he helped me get this thing rolling, and we debuted it there, and we'll probably wrap it up there too.
So how long have you been doing this tour?
About a year and a half. We started in May last year. It was supposed to be April, but I'm a little bit slow. So, yeah, we've been touring. We started with Toonseum. We've done a couple of anime cons. We really brought it out at Dragon Con, and since then we've been doing cons all over. We'll be doing Otakon, and then I do, Dragon Con, and then Anime Week in Atlanta. Then I'll do New York Comic Con, and then from there I'm not really sure. I know I'll be doing Emerald City next March. So
now, have you thought about possibly doing this for any other series, or is Akira just, it is awesome, but is this like your holy grail for doing this thing, or would you like to try it with something else? Or
I think in 2013 will be the 25th anniversary of the release, and we'll be doing San Diego that year. We'll bring out about 400 pieces, stick them all out there, let people enjoy it, and I think after that we'll probably retire Art of Akira at the end of 2013, and I'll move into either Studio Ghibli or a Golden Age of Anime exhibit where I take everything from the 90s that kind of made the West understand what anime is and stick it out there and let people check it out. So I haven't really decided yet. I don't look that far to the future.
That's cool, but it's really awesome that you actually have new photography encouraged and stuff. It's really, most people will be, these kind of collectors, I would assume are sort of snobs, like to keep it for themselves, but you really are encouraging people to check this out and to show it off.
Well, that's the point, right? If you watch Akira and you think it's phenomenal and you think it's beautiful, and then you see the original art all in sections and it kind of makes your jaw drop, the next time you see Akira, it's going to blow your mind. And I'd rather people enjoy it, see it, share it. I'm a big proponent of what the internet brings to the table in terms of media. I don't understand or believe in calling sharing privacy or piracy. I think it's really simple. If you like something and you share it with someone, that's the ultimate compliment for a piece of art. I didn't create this art, so I don't really have much standing when it comes to, should other people see it, but I own it. And I encourage people who can't make the con to be able to see this art, have their friends share it with them, go online to Art of Akira and download the high-res scans, That's the point. Art gets better the more people who look at it. and there's really no sense in hiding it away from people. I just never understood that.
Like, have you had a chance to talk to like the manga publishers about this? Have they noticed it, or?
Oh yeah, yeah, they've noticed it. In the very beginning, there was a little friction between Kodansha and I because of the name of the Akira and like what it is. But once they realized this was not for profit, this was 100% self-funded, my own project. I just wanted to encourage people to check it out, and then they realized that they were actually seeing an uptick in sales for Blu-ray and DVD releases. They got real understanding. They didn't come after me again and told me knock it off or anything like that. And I think so long as I stay, true to the theme here, they're not going to come after me or anything like that. As far as, what comes next, will there be a book or whatever? I've tried. I've really worked hard. I'm an author by trade. I actually write books. And when I pitched the book about, Akira, they're like, nah, no thanks. So I dare not risk it,
So for those out there who could not come to Otakon or AWA or some of these other cons, where can they check some of this stuff out?
artofakira.com, and then the Facebook page, Facebook.com/Art of Akira. I post art regularly. I try my best to, in between cons, I'll scan a few pieces and stick it up there. Everything's in extremely high resolution. You can download it, make it your backdrop for your, computer. I have on my laptop right here. You're familiar with Jelliskin. So this is the background that inspired the whole thing, that made this whole thing possible. I went and got it printed out and put on my laptop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's immaculate, huh?
yeah, it looks really nice. Like, I'll have to track down that to post on the website. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, there's a YouTube video I did just showing the background versus where it is in the film, and you can find that on Art of Akira as well, and you can kind of see the comparison and start to understand the magnitude of what you're missing when you don't get to see the whole background or the whole scene.
Well, thank you very much. This is a really awesome exhibit. I'm glad that you're doing this. I wish more anime fans would do stuff like this.
Yeah, it's a big passion of mine, and I'm glad that people appreciate it. That's really the big payoff here, is when people show up or want to talk about it, or give me an entire weekend of talking about something I love. It's my favorite thing in the world.
Well, once again, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
On the last episode of OSMcast Z, we were talking about Otakon 2011. So, Vertical.
I skipped out on that one.
I was there for most of it. I didn't get the Q&A. He didn't have any new titles to announce, apparently, since the last time he had been there. He had been to a con, but just ran through the lineup. I'm very much interested in Princess Knight coming out.
Yes. Yes.
And I still don't know what it's about, but a series called No Longer Human. Just the covers looked neat. It's apparently based on a best-selling book in Japan that's like everyone has read. So,
did he mention what manga inspired? That manga is basically the whole heart and soul of Sayonara Zezebo Sensei.
Ah,
really?
No, he did not bring that up. And of course, more volumes of Twin Spica, Cheese Sweet Home, Drops of God. That's about wine, or maybe I might be in the title wrong.
Yeah, you're right. Drops of God.
That sounded interesting. It's apparently about collecting rare wines touched by God or something.
Did he mention what that one was like? Why they had to pick up that one?
Well, other than you mentioned, it was been really influential just to the wine industry, and that real news media has commented on this series.
And it's not just the Japanese wine industry. The international wine market is influenced by the titles they select in Drop of God. If they feature a wine in Drop of God, basically that wine becomes hard to buy all over the world.
And they're bringing out GTO seriously, it's coming.
They're bringing the prequels that was originally done by ADV. Tokyopop, sorry. But they're picking up where Tokyopop left off. But they're also doing the sequel series to GTO, which I didn't realize they were doing a sequel series.
It's shown in 14 days, and it's about the 14 days in between the end of GTO and the epilogue.
Interesting. Now, if only we get Common Teacher out as well.
Yeah.
You hear me, Ed?
But I'm very impressed with the Vertical lineup and just both how they have some very old and serious, like, artistic manga. And they're trying to branch out. They got funny. They've got lighthearted. They're going to the GTO, maybe a little more shonen action. But all their books are really high quality to them. Really, really high production quality.
I would say it's pretty safe to say I think Vertical might be my overall favorite manga publisher.
I'm becoming very fond of them very rapidly.
Like, I like Viz, you know, I will forever be in debt of Dark Horse for doing Kursai Corpse delivery service. But, man, Vertical is just... I think I could buy almost their entire catalog and be happy. And I don't know if I can say about any other publisher.
The only flaw, I would say, with Vertical is they only pick up titles they love, but their greatest strength is they only pick up titles they love, and thereby they treat them with the love they deserve.
It's very, very true. After that, I and Kevin and I went to scope out the new Full Metal Alchemist movie, The Sacred Star of Milos.
It was a movie.
It was totally a Full Metal Alchemist movie.
Yes.
It was, it was a good, hour and a half, 2 hours of Full Metal filler goodness.
This is a sharp contrast to the Makoto Shinkai movie, and this really just was meant to be mostly action, as opposed, not terribly cerebral. Although, I like the mechanical designs of the film.
Yeah, it very much succeeds very well as like a popcorn action flick.
Yes.
Where, you're going there, you know these characters, you already enjoy these characters, you just want to see them run around and do awesome stuff, and get a new little plot to go with on the side to sort of chew on.
Vaguely in the middle-ish part of the new Brotherhood TV series, but you don't need to know that.
It's in that nice nebulous thing where they've, where Ed and Al both know how to do the magical god hand clap, so they can both don't have to worry about, transmuting circles for alchemy. But it's right before they really kick into the final finale, where there's no, point of no return, where you can't go back anymore.
You can't pretend anything happened important.
Right. And so I could see that they really wanted to keep just doing more movies out of this nebulous time period. And I'd be okay with that. Like, once every couple of years, get a new FMA movie. See Ed and Al do their Ed and Al thing. It'd be nice. And this... I keep forgetting that, considering it's a series that deals with human death and blood a lot, this is a bloody film.
Especially as you get towards the end of the movie and we kind of hit the climax of the film. Well, not even really the climax, but as we get into the last act of the film, it amps up the violence.
So, to be totally nerdy, would you say that it is a filler film that is below the Cowboy Bebop movie, but above the Nadia movie? Nadia, Secret of the Blue Order.
I would personally put it around the same level as the Cowboy Bebop movie. I was pretty happy with the Cowboy Bebop movie, and I was pretty happy with this movie. Mind you, my bar that I'm basing this from is the original Full Metal Alchemist movie, the Shambhala thing of...
Conqueror of Shambhala.
Well, no, I know what the name was. I was just more referred to it as that Shambhala thing.
With Nazi Maze Hughes and crazy-eyed Hitler. That you can say Nazis and Hitler in a Full Metal Alchemist movie just feels wrong. And yeah, I know the plot twist of the first TV series.
And so this one, it felt very much like it was...
At least it was thematically consistent.
Yes. Well, it's one of those things where it's like the Trigun movie, where the Trigun movie is, again, one of those where it takes place sort of nebulously in the middle of the series, and it's before the plot hits the fan, so everything is a little more serious. It's more the goofy bash, and it stays very much on that tone. Full Metal's a bit better about its balance of serious and lightheartedness throughout the entire series. Like, it always stays pretty serious, but at times pretty lighthearted throughout. And so I think it's much easier to do a thematically similar to the TV show or manga story as a filler thing with that one, and people are still excited for it because the characters, I don't want to say they don't change, but their cores are more or less the same. They do grow as the series goes on, but they don't grow so much that you can't throw a random movie in the middle of it and people not they get what they want.
It was a decent action flick. I would like to watch it again.
And we'll probably also do a review of this one, but this time with Daryl, because that's who we watched it with. Because Daryl and I were waiting for a bit to make sure that we could actually get in, because this thing had a line. This thing had a huge line.
Now, this had a really responsive audience. I mean, I know there's a lot of Full Metal Alchemist fans out there, but this had a really responsive audience.
Every time a character walked on screen, there was just a huge... The entire room just burst out into applause. I know, woos and yays, and, you know, and it was definitely like these people wanted their FMA, but it was I won't say a chore getting in, but it was definitely, it was a line. Like, the entire, like, lower lobby was just filled with people just waiting for that film. So it was...
I appreciated that the Full Metal Alchemist movie, at least the way we saw it, subtitled, was like everything else in my life that I enjoy, Vic Mañana free.
On that note, so what were you doing around this time?
Oh, what was I doing? That is a good question. Oh, I was having my heart broken. But I did eventually go on to the What Makes Gundam Great panel with a few of my online friends.
Oh, someone went to see that, thank goodness. All the robot stuff was really sandwiched right on top of each other.
But yeah, between the Sunrise panel and the Gundam Unicorn showing and the Mike Toole's underrated mecha and What Makes Gundam Great. So what does make Gundam great? What did they decide?
Well, apparently...
was it Peru?
No. It said the fans. That was his comment at the end.
Oh, One Piece is friendship. I knew it.
Oh, I was hoping for the chicken. or the Turn carrying the cow.
That will be the One Piece. Will be the Turn Gundam. And then Luffy will fight it. Luffy will still probably win, and that will make me sad.
Luffy will just want to eat the cow. But anyways, you were saying...
Oh, my secret theory is that the One Piece is hyper technology. But that is a long, complicated story, not for this podcast.
Okay, so what makes Gundam great? Let's
apparently, I think I've seen this guy at Anime Next, and he basically, it's supposed to be a primer to Gundam. Like, he goes through all the series and the tropes of Gundam, and like, you know, what is Gunpla, and you know, what is alternate universe, what is UC. But the problem is 95% of the audience is already Gundam fans.
See, that's what I was worried about. I was worried, is this going to be like one of the things where I was like, so guys, this is what Gundam is. Yeah, we know.
I've run into that at Gundam panels, is the people who come to the panels, for the most part, are Gundam fans. And they know all this stuff. They probably want to get a little more in depth. Just as a general rule.
I found that out myself running a Type Moon panel where I was like, how many people in the room have played a Type Moon game or watched a Type Moon anime and no one didn't raise their hand? And I'm like, so unless I go to a super small con, I never have to run a Type Moon 101 panel.
What is Type Moon?
Because anyone who goes to such a panel will have already played a bit of it.
Yeah, it was kind of amazing when we ran our Gonagai panel at MTAC that they all knew what Gonagai was, mostly. Some of them didn't, actually. But all of them tend to only see one show. Like, someone might have only seen Cutie Honey or only seen Mazinger.
I was really happy with someone I kind of made friends at that con. We kind of turned her on to Gonagai shows. And she was talking about Cutie Honey and Get a Robo, like, immediately after the show. It was cool.
And so it's going to be interesting showing that AWA because it is meant to be, I'm sure, a primer. And we'll see how that goes. Because
AWA is the old school con, though.
Yeah, so I feel that everyone's like, yeah, we know all this stuff. I'm like, well, that's cool. We're going to show the openings anyway, so you're going to enjoy it. Oh, wait, the microphone can't see me stare and disdain.
But he is. Yeah.
But I did get a lot out of the panel, but on an entirely meta level.
Really?
Because I got to see what the current snapshot of Gundam fandom thinks of Gundam. Because basically, original Gundam and Zeta were universally loved. And G Gundam got a few negative comments, but everybody who is into G Gundam was crazy into G Gundam.
There's two kinds of people. There's two kinds of opinions about G Gundam. The people who've never watched it and mocked it, and the people who watched it and loved it.
Well, I can't really say much, as G Gundam is actually my favorite Gundam series.
And, I'm in the minority as I think Zeta's highly overrated.
Kate is basically it was good, but it's nowhere as good as all you people think it is.
I'm a heathen. I like Double Zeta also. I actually think Double Zeta is better.
Wait a minute. I have one question, and we might have to become blood brothers after this. What is your opinion of Lou Ruka? Okay, we can remain merely friends.
She's okay.
Because I love Lou Ruka, but she is other than Quest Pariah, one of the least popular female Gundam characters.
Just have a tendency to that show fortunately has Puru, who probably wears the crown of being most batshit insane in the Gundam series, but Lou does some stupid shit in that show.
Well, I think the problem with Lou Ruka is that she has Tomino female syndrome, which is, I'm a strong female character till my emotions make me act like a woman's.
Yeah.
Because all womans are controlled by their emotions, right? But all womans and all mans should have been at the Dubs That Time Forgot panel by Mike Toole.
Yeah, that was exciting. He started off with a little Koro-chan the Bear, which was what did he say? It was 1959, I think? It actually predated anything he thought existed English dubbed. They were little educational films, little don't act like this bear who likes to play all day kind of films, that was weird. I think it was just dubbed into English. More narrated, because they just the one narrator, but a bear family and these monkeys, and yeah, they did things. That was wacky. That was old.
But man, Vicky the Viking.
Vicky the Viking. We need to track down the live action movie of that. I don't care if it's in German. That looked awesome.
It did look awesome. And frickin' Ramayana.
Yeah.
Based off an Indian myth. And by India I mean the country India. An Indian myth.
Ramayana. I mean, look, wiki it. It's epic.
And the anime was kind of epic too. It was, commissioned for India. It was actually designed to be spoken in English, but actors at India hired to do English, so it sounds
I suspect
different.
If there's any way to actually track this down, and now I want to know if there is, I suspect this would actually be very educational if you're not already into Hindu religion or mythology.
But they also showed Getter Robo G.
Yeah,
which was pretty awesome.
Star Avengers in the 2 states that showed it or something.
And the freaking Jungle Book.
Yeah,
they showed a different weird animated version of the Jungle Book. It's not the Disney thing. There was another thing, and it was very surreal and looked like he was hanging out with furries.
Yeah. Go home now. Go home now.
Then he actually was able to show an old Harmony Gold pilot of Dr. Slump.
Yeah, where all Japanese text was brutally edited out.
And man, the crown jewel, what almost made this convention for me, besides all the other awesome stuff, was he pulled out the ADV dub of Gurren Lagann, which has Brett Weaver as Kamina.
That was a thing of glorious beauty. I'm not sure about the other voice actors, but I really wish we had Brett Weaver as Kamina in the official version.
Let's dial the clock back about 10 to 11 years. That's about how long our anime club has gone on. And back in that day, Brett Weaver was hot shit. Brett Weaver, Tiffany Grant, they were the Vic Mañanas of their time. I am not joking. We had one guy that would come to our anime club, and every time he was there, he would not shut up about how awesome Brett was and how Brett Weaver's my hero. Like, every time. And Brett Weaver's a really cool dude, don't get me wrong. Like, you know,
if you ever had run into him at a con back in the day, he was cool.
He
You
is,
could hang out with him.
Like, he is one of the nicest, awesomest people you'll ever meet in your life. Like, he is a cool dude. And it's a real shame that he doesn't get more... He's not one of the in actors, I guess. And doesn't get the work, like... Because I bet he would still be willing to do stuff if he could just get the gigs for it. But... And this was, like, one of his last roles that people have seen him in, or going to see him in, was Kamina from Gurren Lagann. And he did a really good job. Like, he nailed that character really well. And I think Kamina works really well as a Texan.
Yeah. Well, he nailed it very much in the style of the Japanese actor, whereas the official, the one we got dubbed, he's not quite the same as the Japanese Kamina.
Well, I think that Brett Weaver understands the mecha pilot.
Yeah, how to be a
like
loud,
the burning
hot-blooded
youth,
mecha
going
pilot.
a guy, you know, Mazinger, Ghetto, whatever, you know, robot.
Whether it's done
pilot.
ironically or in absolute seriousness, he works for that.
Like, it's a role that Damarama would not regret.
No, he would not. And it's funny, that guy had to kind of go away before I actually learned to appreciate Brett Weaver.
It's true. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm usually one of those like, meh, I prefer the Japanese voices.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely, when we're snobby, we like our Japanese with subtitles or raw.
Well, some of us aren't crazy, but Brett Weaver is one of those voice actors I would actually skip to the dub track and listen to.
You
for a
check
bit.
it out. You at least give it a shot, see what the dub was like. Although, with the age of dual audio on your DVD or Blu-ray, I have to admit I've checked out a lot more dubs than I would have otherwise.
But I know that was 10 years ago. That Mark says is ancient, so we will move on.
But I just wanted to mention that I've been or seen videos of Dub of Time Forgot, and none of those things that they mentioned were on any of the things I've seen. So it's always interesting to go.
I think he had mentioned he had a bunch of new stuff.
Well, I think one of the things that Michael does, he goes out and hunts for this stuff. Like, he's always trying to find new material. So did anyone do any other panels?
No, I pretty much, I went pretty much straight over to Anime's Craziest Deaths.
I saw Cyborg, Cybernetics, and Metal Men. I missed the first introduction of it, but it was this lady, and she seemed to be an academic, and she was talking about the role of man and machine melding in anime and manga, and unfortunately for her, she was a solo panelist, which is not a crime in any way whatsoever, but her PowerPoint was not playing on the projectors. So but to her credit, she was really doing a good job despite only being one person and basically having all her videos and basically screenshots totally murdered.
Well, speaking of murder,
well, yeah, that's a good segue to.
That's the best segue ever.
To Daryl's Anime's Craziest Deaths, and boy, if anyone knows how to do a panel about people dying, it's Daryl Surratt.
I mean, come on, he opened with Fist of the North Star.
And you've probably heard us talk about this panel before because this is one of the for AWA, it's like a staple. Like, he does it every year, and so I've gone every year. And, he's even admitted that, many times it's usually a lot of the same clips. Like, he's got other clips to show, and he does do a rotation. But by and large, it's usually the same series. He just takes different deaths from each series.
Now, this was an 18-plus panel, marked as such. He did use that as an excuse to show some of his stuff he normally doesn't bring out.
Like, we actually got some Violence Jack this time.
Yeah, we got actual Violence Jack. Lives up to its name. Say no more.
There is nothing more violent in Go Nagai's repertoire, at least animated, that could compete with Violence Jack. Like, even the choice scenes from Black Lion cannot compete with Violence Jack, and just a pure gore and just crazy effed up.
The most violent scenes in Black Lion are average for Violent Shack. It's a show. It's totally a show.
It was really kind of sad when you realized that all these older shows that he was
Yes.
primarily taking these clips from, he kept asking, so who's seen this? Or who hasn't seen
Who
this?
hasn't seen this? And people were shooting up their hands. I mean, okay, Bao was kind of obscure, although awesome.
Well, he
but,
does break Dark Thunder.
He does. I mean, okay, and the manga's written by the guy who did JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. But once again, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures got a bunch of... I've never seen that.
It was kind of like watching the audience doing the wave.
Yes.
Like every time it was like, hey, so who has not seen this? Oh, well, we gotta show another clip.
I mean, at least, okay, Akira didn't get so many hands up on Never Saw It, but I thought they like handed that out to you and you became an anime fan. I guess not anymore, but...
Hey, some of us didn't actually get a chance to see it until last year.
I found it amusing that he didn't even bother asking if people hadn't seen it before when he got to Zambot 3.
Yeah.
Well, that's excusable. I mean, there's a fan sub floating around, but yeah, most people have not seen Zambot 3.
It did remind me that one day we are going to do our Bad Bull podcast. One day. We're going to be one of those. Like, because I remember promising somebody, like, anybody, like, 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
That we're going to do a Mad Bull podcast, and we never have.
Yeah, nobody's seen Mad Bull. Nobody's seen Angel Cop. It was, these were staples of my early anime years.
And he was holding back on Mad Bull because he didn't even have the jockstrap of grenades.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, as Kevin once coined it, you have Mad Bull, Sleepy, he's got a heart of gold and a crotch full of grenades.
Yes, he does. That is Mad Bull's an anime that's just so very, very wrong that it surpasses wrong and becomes right.
So very right. But so far, this has been a really, really fun convention. I've had a blast coming here.
My first trip to Otakon. I admit I had a hard time figuring out where anything was the first day. A little better navigating today.
Oh yeah, like that was one of the things we didn't really get into the previous podcast, but for Kevin and I, this is my first Otakon in like 7 or 8 years. And this is Kevin's first Otakon ever. And the first day, there was a lot of newbie, like, okay, where do I go? I have no clue. Where am I? A lot. Because this is a sprawling convention center.
Yeah, we've got the convention center. There's like 4 floors of stuff. And it stretches
across into a hotel. Parts of the floor are in different parts. Like, you might have a floor 2, but the floor 2 is actually in separate chunks, and you actually can't get to parts of floor 2 from the other parts of floor 2. And so it's kind of labyrinth in its design. And once you learn the basics and where the stuff is, it's easy enough to get to. And the flow is constantly moving, so you don't have to worry about, waiting too long for someone to move to get to where you want to go. But the trick is learning how to get there.
This is certainly the most people I've ever seen at a con in one place. I mean, I expected there'd be more than I'd seen before anywhere else because it's Otakon, it's the big leagues, but it's, there's a lot of people here.
Yep.
And I don't want to make these guys seem out to be noobs because I've been here for like 6 years already when it was just the BCC, not the BCC and the Hilton, which was made specifically so they could have more panel rooms and more hotel rooms. And I still got lost when it was just the BBC. So then you add on the BCC and the hotel. And yeah, I mean, anybody who's new is going to take a little time to acclimate.
I had to go over to the Sheraton to get our press badges.
Yeah, that was interesting where all the press ups in the Sheraton, which is like a couple of blocks away. And which... I think that was sort of thrown on them out of nowhere.
Because they lost a space for some reason. Now, admittedly, they sent an email telling us this before we ever got here. We knew that's where we had to go, but
and they made it work. Like this is no way a complaint at all. Otakon were absolutely aces as far as the press department goes. They did a great job, and most of the staff did a pretty good job. Like I really have no complaints about the staff, like at all. Like even the staffs who had to be like guys, look. We have to fill up this room. Please get to the end. They were still nice. They were cordial. They were not jerks. It ran really well.
Yeah, and I think I haven't had any real problems. Everything that I've wanted to get into, I've been able to get into, unless, what do you call it, I didn't plan properly, and so it's been a good time.
Even the stuff I didn't plan properly, for example, after the Full Metal Alchemist premiere, I checked my phone and realized it was dead. It ran out of power while I was watching the film. So I came up to my room to recharge it a little bit, and then realized that, in 15 minutes is Michael Toole's panel about dubs that time forgot. So I had to rush back down, go grab a sandwich from Jimmy John's, still delicious, by the way, and I still, though, got into the panel 10 minutes late, and they still let me in, so.
Yes, admittedly, we have press badges, and that gives us magic powers, but...
Don't tell them about that. They'll all get podcasts.
Yes, that would be horrible. Well, it would be horrible. But not because necessarily people don't have things to say, just, if everyone was podcasters.
My Zune only has so much room, guys.
Yes.
64 gigs can only hold so many episodes of Anime 3000 stuff. I'm just saying. The man keeps adding a new one like every week. So any other final thoughts before we move on?
I am really tired after today.
I was happy that even though the Japanese guests were up against some really epic things, they still got a decent crowd and people always asking questions, because at New York, at the local con we have around in New York, there is a New Jersey con called Anime Next, and they're like a really good mid-sized con that gets Japanese guests, even though they're only a mid-sized con.
Oh, wow.
But the problem is, a lot of times, they will be in a room of like 20 people. And they basically have to almost like beg for questions from anybody who isn't like a podcaster or press. And I was glad that never happened. Basically, all the Q&As ended with people still wanting to ask questions.
Yeah, that's true. Like, the fans were good this year. I mean, even like, the Shinkai, the line was kept going. The FMA definitely, it ended before everyone can ask all their questions.
Yeah, there were a couple people left. There were several people left, actually, who wanted questions, but they were like, nope, no more questions.
I was kind of weird. It was kind of weird that they said, okay, 2 more questions, and then another line moved. They all stuck around.
Just in case.
Just in case. But yeah, Otakon, it was a really good time. Really fun time. Really enjoyed. Would come back again. And I think that's about as well as a recommendation one can get to a con when you go, man, I want to come back. So, yeah.
Even facing a 12-hour drive, we want to come back.
It's true. It's just going to be a matter of, well, for us, it'll be a pure matter of finances. But
yes, this is not as easy as going to your local con or even just a state or two away. For us, this was a long trip.
This was a trek.
Took some planning, took resources.
A road trip, not Star Trek, but...
So, if anything, we hope that everybody who listens, we can see them again next year.
Yeah.
That's right. And so thanks to everyone we got to meet, all the podcasters, all the media, all the industry, everyone, and thank you for Alan for coming on to our particular episode.
Well, thank you for coming on to our show.
Like, even though we actually pulled you out of bed just for this, and now it's almost 3:30, so with that, thank you.
And good night.